Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. Hope you're doing well. Today, the topic of this video is a very confronting one, and I'm going to literally call out all of these distranslators of the Quran who basically are, trying to set up the women in a frame which pleases their desires. So, I'm talking about Surah Al Baqarah, ayah number 223. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nisa'ukum harthun lakum. Okay? So this has been translated by Sahih International as your wives are a place of cultivation. That is sowing of seed. Also, the same thing here down here. Your wives are a place of sowing seed for you. So they are trying to say that my wife or my wife is a flower pot and I sow seeds in there, flowers are going to come out and I just pluck them out. So apparently my wife becomes my asset, my flower pot. My flower pot does not have anything other than growing my plants. My flower pot has no say in my life, has no decision making power, has got no rights of its own other than I water it, yeah, and keep planting seeds in it. It's quite sad. It really is very sad. Now, these guys, okay, on top is the clear Quran. He says your women are cultivation for you. Now he converts the nisa'ukum into women as he is recent in time, and obviously a lot of things have been happening, So apparently they said, okay, we gotta moderate it slightly, regulate this a bit because, women are a bit powerful as compared to the past. Then Quranite, okay, this guy says your women are a tilth for you. So come to your tilth as you will and send ahead for your souls. And then the great Quran, he says, your women are a cultivation for you. So the word tilth means cultivation of land, tillage, the condition of tilled soil, especially in respect of suitability for sowing seeds. And cultivation, we know the action of cultivating land or the state of being cultivated. State of being cultivated. Also, it means the process of trying to acquire or develop a quality or skill. The cultivation of good staff management relations. Cultivation. So you would be wondering, if this is not women, then who is this being addressed about? Nisa'ukum harthun lakum. What could be the reason that they have translated this ayah like this? Well, the ayah was translated as women or your fields or your tilth or your cultivation to legitimize male control and frame intimacy as a divine entitlement. By tying harth, cultivation, to the female body, these jurists encoded sexual acts as sacred law, removing the concept of the woman's consent. This served patriarchal structures that sought divine sanction for dominance, turning a metaphor of moral cultivation into a physical submission. Now you'd be wondering that if Nisa is not women, like obviously we've been indoctrinated to believe that Nisa can only be women. Well, if it's not women, then what is it? Well, before I proceed on that, you need to keep this in mind, that the word Nisa, it goes to both humans and jinns because Allah is the creator addressing both human and jinn through this divine Al-Kitab, the book. So, in the human context of Nisa, other than women, it could be these things like, number one, elderly weak, those physically dependent on others for mobility or care. Children and orphans, those needing guidance, upbringing and protection, the handicapped and disabled, physically or mentally limited individuals needing assistance, the poor, destitute, emotionally dependent or vulnerable people, widowed single parents, those emotionally or socially in need of support networks, students, learners, those depending intellectually or spiritually on a mentor, refugees, displaced persons, those who rely on others for shelter or stability, socially marginalized, those excluded from power or voice, relying on community care, patients, ill people, those dependent on others for healing or survival, next generations, the youth, those needing education and nurturing to grow. So we saw that these are the 10 kinds of nisa that we can find in society around us, which are not women only. They are people that simply require our support. So when we go back to the translation, it could be like your dependent people are a place of your cultivation. Why? Because if you support them financially or morally or however in the right manner, that process of cultivation will produce good fruit in them. They will become rijal of the society. They will be the ones who will be standing on their feet, strong and firm, and then playing the role of active participant in the society. This is not talking about men getting to have sex with their women whenever they like. This does not mean that at all. That condition does not make the women happy. Simple as that. Allah is the creator of both men and women. And you need to understand this for a fact. If you put this ayah exactly like this translation, to the jinn world, I don't know how that works over there. Maybe the female jinns are not as oppressed and maybe they have power over there. Then this ayah, this translation does not apply like this at all to them. So this is just a way that they have made it legal for them to approach their women whenever they like. End of story. I hope this video was educational for you all. Thanks for watching.